And welcome, everybody. My name is John Immel. I'm the director of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda, and tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about our online certification courses in Ayurvedic health and wellness. These are courses designed to give you the information and confidence you need to begin a clinical practice of Ayurveda. I'll say right from the beginning that all of our certification courses are entirely online, that no travel is required at any point in any of our programs. This is what I look like, by the way. That's me. My name is John Immel. I'm the founder and director of Joyful Belly. And I'm also the president of the National Association of Ayurvedic Schools and Colleges. And we have two programs at Joyful Belly: the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine, Ayurveda Health Counselor Program, and the Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition Program. This first program is a 750-hour program that is 2 years long. The Digestion and Nutrition Program is a 1-year-long course. And these two courses have very different focus. If you were here in the pre-call conversation, you saw that there was one student that already has an Ayurvedic certification and is coming to the Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition course to supplement that existing training that she has. And so in that program, we will frequently get Ayurveda practitioners and other health and wellness professionals that want to develop a specialty in Ayurvedic digestion. Whereas in the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine program, that program you can pretty much start from scratch. If you don't have a background in health and wellness, you can jump right into that one. We're going to go over the whole breadth and scope of Ayurveda in that program, whereas in the digestion program, we're going to focus on digestion alone, digestion and Ayurvedic nutrition, and the effects of food on your body in a much more deep and detailed way. So both programs are very exciting ones. Many students who come to our school take both of them. One, you go deep in a specific area, and one is broad. And so that is a sort of 10,000-foot perspective on it. In both courses, we meet 3 times a week live, and we scatter those so that there are live times available in every time zone. I know there's people on tonight's call that are coming from Australia and from Great Britain or New Zealand. We have students from Japan, the Middle East, Latin America, Central America, Canada, and the United States. And so our weekly live meeting times we stagger them so that people in every time zone can attend. And then each week you also will get pre-recorded presentations, which is extremely useful. You can study those presentations and listen to them at the time of day when your brain is fresh and at your best. I don't study well and between the hours of noon and 3 p.m. Ever since I was a kid, even in grade school, around that time of day, I like to take a nap, but my mind is fresh from 5 a.m. until 10 a.m. in the morning, and that's when I do a lot of my, deep work and introspection. So we'll give you these pre-recorded presentations that you will listen to when you're at your best, and then we're going to meet to discuss them. Another great and exciting thing about having those presentations on hand and pre-recorded is that we put a ton of energy into making those presentations great as a team. All of our presentations were designed by a team of Ayurvedic teachers and practitioners, and some of the lectures represent up to 40 or 50 hours in planning and development just for a single 1 hour lecture. And so, you know, you'll get that, the benefit of all of that through the format of this program. So in your mind, you know, be thinking about these two aspects of the program, the pre-recorded presentation and our online live discussion. And yeah, so, okay, in the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine program, the first year, you're going to complete your basic training in Ayurvedic fundamentals. And in year 2, you're going to get your clinical training. And that's when you'll start meeting with clients. That's when we're going to hone your assessment skills so that you graduate with confidence. There'll be about 95 client encounters in the program. Most of those we'll provide, but you'll be providing your own clients as well. And so you will get a lot of clinical experience. The goal of the fundamentals program is to learn how to see the whole person, mentally, emotionally, physically, and that you have all the fundamentals necessary to become an Ayurveda counselor and a solid grounding in Ayurveda. Great. So the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition program. In that course, our goal is that you are a qualified expert in digestive tract pathology and Ayurvedic nutrition. And so we're going to be talking about 30 major digestive tract disorders. And each of those disorders that we discuss, we're not just discussing the disorder itself, but how that represents a pattern of imbalance in the digestive tract that you see over and over again, even when the medical symptoms aren't manifesting. And we're going to go over how to deal with those different patterns so that you can help your clients navigate some very difficult and challenging digestive issues from a Western medical point of view. And then we'll show you how, how Ayurveda really elegantly solves some of those and has a really great prognosis for some difficult and seemingly mysterious digestive disorders. The fundamentals program starts in late August. The Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition course starts in early October. So the Mastering Digestion course is a 500-hour course. The other one's a 750-hour course. In both courses, we'll give you the and I'm really saying this for the Mastering Digestion and Nutrition course. In the Mastering Digestion and Nutrition course, we're going to give you all the Ayurveda fundamentals you need to handle and approach the digestive tract from an Ayurvedic point of view. But we're not going to give you all of Ayurveda in that course. Every year, I get people who ask me questions like, oh, well, I'm interested in studying the connection between asthma and the digestive tract. And you will certainly, or other conditions and digestion, skin care, for example, or stress and the mind-gut connection. And yes, we will cover all of those, but we're not going to make you an expert in skincare in this digestion course. We're not going to make you an expert in mental health in digestion course. We're going deep into digestion in that course. The more broader training is in the fundamentals course. So we go deeper in the digestion course and broader in the fundamentals course. So the purpose of both programs is an immersion. It's going to be a challenging, difficult, and amazing journey for every student. It's not hard from the point of view of like intellectually difficult, but it will certainly be challenging to you because you'll be thinking in a radical new way about health and really about how our bodies interact with the world. And that brain shift is not easy for most people. It wasn't easy for me. I graduated with a degree in mathematics and computer science from Harvard University, and academics are always, you know, not, I wouldn't say easy for me, but I definitely, you know, have a skill in that area. And I have to say that when I came to Ayurveda school, I was even a little overconfident. I said, and I thought it was just going to be easy. It was amazing, but it was also a brain shift, and I had to learn how to think in a new way. And that's a little bit like learning to ride a bicycle or learning a new language. There's more to it than just the intellectual knowledge. It's a way of thinking, and that is exciting to learn and apply to improve clinical and health outcomes. And an exciting thing you'll find is that it is a very rationalistic approach. It's there's intuition involved, but I would say more clearly that Ayurveda is this tool to map intuition into a kind of rational model for health. It's really amazing how Ayurveda bridges that gap between the art and the science. It's something that I think everyone will be excited to learn. So yeah, in the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition course, our stated goal is this: that you would be able to go to a foreign country, eat a food that you've never seen before, and after 3 days, begin to enumerate the pharmacological effects of that food just through taste and your experience of digesting it. And so when Dana said earlier in our pre-call conversation that she was looking for a way to know how to resolve all the conflicting advice out there given by different forms of dieting and nutrition, and I made this a bold claim that Ayurveda is an umbrella to bring all these disparate systems together, or seemingly opposing systems together, and kind of integrate them and help an individual learn how it applies to them. And it's really using this skill that I just mentioned, the ability to understand a food's pharmacological effect on your body through taste and your experience of eating it. And we're going to go really deep into understanding that. And at the end of the course, you'll know how herbalists 500 years ago wrote down all of the medicinal actions of herbs. Like, how did they know? Did they have laboratories and do double-blind control studies? No, they didn't. But they did have their bodies and their bodily experience, and they discovered the properties of herbs from that. And you're going to learn that skill so that you have a very personal experience of how food affects you. So, and it's that personal experience that's going to be the birthplace of wisdom and insight and grounding your intuition. So it's not just a hunch about something, but that you can articulate exactly how and why something will affect a person in the way that it does. And to do that, we need to learn Ayurvedic anatomy. We need to learn Ayurveda's classification system, and then we need to know how to do great assessment of your client, and then put it all together into a set of recommendations. And that is the focus of the program. We need to learn diseases too, and disease processes, and how they develop. This is an area where Joyful Belly is doing active research online, where we are putting together data from hundreds of thousands of individuals and mapping it out to prove the Ayurvedic models scientifically, and provide that confidence on the back end to our practitioners and our graduates. And great. So we'll teach you how to work with clients, right? If it's not enough to just know what will help the client, but you have to actually get the client to do it, right? You have to also be an expert at talking to the client and making them feel comfortable. So how you work with clients, how you communicate with clients, how you motivate your client, that's all very important. And you'll see throughout the entire presentation tonight and throughout the whole program as well, and really anywhere you go on the Joyful Belly website, you'll see over and over again Joyful Belly's commitment to explaining things in concrete terms that everyone can understand. And I think that you'll see that's a real strength of the Joyful Belly Ayurveda School, is that we focus on communication. Great academics, folks, is not the ability to say something complicated or sound like a rocket scientist. The best professors are the ones that can take a very complex topic and explain it in its full richness and detail without making it complicated. And by making it simple, that's been our commitment to the Ayurveda community for over 10 years, since we have been developing the vast amount of content on Joyful Belly, as well as going through these courses. It's been a grueling but wonderful process to bring Ayurveda to life through publishing all of this information to the public and through teaching students. So our goal is to apply that practical knowledge of the body, diet, lifestyle, and herbs to lead your clients to new health and vitality. And so before I jump into why study Ayurveda, I just want to give two quotes here from our graduates. One from a graduate of our digestion program in 2017. She says, "I feel like I'm bursting with bodily awakening. My skin is more vibrant than ever. This is so powerful. At this time of year, I want to share my gratitude for being a part of this transformative education. Ayurveda truly offers a new beginning." And from a gastroenterologist, "As far as the course, it has been an eye-opening experience for me as a pediatric gastroenterologist. There is so much I have been doing as an allopathic physician for the past 22 years, and wish that I had stepped into Ayurveda sooner. It's not too late, however. As I grasp the Ayurveda concept, understanding why, how, and what should be done has become much easier, and I'm enjoying that very much. Thank you." So great, just a quote from two students about the program. So why take an Ayurveda course? Why study Ayurveda? Here's the various reasons why people want to study Ayurveda. One, they want to create something wholesome in the world. Two, they like to solve problems and help other people improve their quality of life. They want to show people how to feel good and have a passion for people. They want to live a life of meaning and generosity. And they have a mission around that. They want to do something great with the little time they have on earth. And that they see in Ayurveda something special, something as right as rain, something natural. And they know that that natural way is the best foundation for health and want to bring that perspective to their community. Sometimes people are inextricably drawn to Ayurveda and inspired by it, but don't exactly know why. And maybe it's because Ayurveda is tasty. Maybe it's because Ayurveda is nurturing and warm. It somehow feels more humanistic. And I think that is one of the reasons why it attracts many people. Some people enjoy how it integrates physical health with spiritual health. Now, Ayurveda doesn't propose a particular model for spiritual development, but it acknowledges that the whole person is necessary for health. And the whole person includes the mind and it includes the soul, and it includes the body. And so even though Ayurveda is not prescriptive in the area of spiritual health, it recognizes that it's really the whole person that has to be healthy, not just their body. So Ayurveda is something more than just a new herb to use, actually. And I think that's another reason why people start to see Ayurveda as something more. It's being holistic doesn't mean that you're just using the whole herb to fix somebody, but that you're looking at their whole person and the whole disease and the whole herb and the whole food and integrating it together. And we need a system to do that. It's not just a hunch, it's not just intuition, and it's not just a list of data either, but it's a model and a classification system to bring all those things together in a way that seems to fit with how humans naturally think. And I would say that's another bold statement, that Ayurveda is not just natural in the types of medicines that it chooses. It's also natural because it reflects how human beings naturally think about things. And so why is it hard to learn then? And I'll say, I don't know why it's hard to learn. I think it's because we just haven't been ever really trained to like be aware of how we naturally think. That it's been happening, but it happens without our conscious involvement. We just think that way, and so it seems that unusual to actually just talk about how we think that way. In any way, I'm confident that in the first 3 or 4 months, that most students will feel underconfident about their application of Ayurveda, and then around month 4, for most students, is when it starts to really click in, and they develop a facility and ease with it that they start to wonder, like, how is it that I never knew this before? And that's a very beautiful moment when the student comes to that understanding of the whole opus of Ayurveda. All right, great. So I've said it already, it's a little bit like learning to speak a new language or learning to ride a bicycle, which if you're a small child looking at a bicycle, you're like, how does that stay up? But it does. And it does it very elegantly. So you will see as you go through the course how Ayurveda works that way. All right, well, what about Ayurveda as a career choice? Once people realize they love Ayurveda and that they want it, they ask themselves the next question, the second question, which is it a good career choice for me? How do I go about building a livelihood using Ayurveda? And that's a question that so many of our prospective students ask. And that's why I want to talk about it here tonight. Well, first of all, is there a market for Ayurveda? And yes, I've seen many practitioners graduate and start a vibrant clinical practice. They get passionate about a health topic that's special to them, and then they start building clientele in that area. And as they build that expertise, their consultation schedule fills up. And on some level, it is as simple as that, because people respect the specific knowledge that you have of their disorder. And it's funny that we say Ayurveda is part of the alternative health industry. Well, and I say it's funny because health and wellness expenditures, in other words, alternative medicine expenditures, are more than half of total global health expenditures. In 2016, global health expenditures were $7.3 trillion. More than half of that was in the health and wellness industry, which is the alternative medicine industry, and that was $4.2 trillion. So alternative medicine is not the alternative. It's actually the greater of the two in terms of global revenues. And so health and wellness is growing twice as fast as the economy, and lots of people are, so it just means that lots of people are doing very well in this market, and that there is a market. It's a trillions of dollars industry. So you do have an opportunity to do well in Ayurveda. And yoga itself was a $16 billion industry 4 years ago in 2016, and that's just in the United States. I hosted a teleconference, and this was for Yoga Alliance, and that was about 3 years ago now, and 1,000 yoga teachers attended that. That was like triple what they normally get for someone hosting a lecture. And so there's a huge community from the yoga community that want Ayurveda, but it's not just in the yoga community. You might think, oh, well, interest in Ayurveda is just in the yoga community. No, I also gave a teleconference at a Christian consortium of alternative healers, and 1,600 people registered on my website that day. So it's not just in the yoga communities, it's in the Christian communities, it's in the mainstream. People have seen it, Ayurveda promoted by folks like Dr. Oz and others, and so a lot of people know about Ayurveda, and they pursue Ayurveda practitioners and Ayurvedic knowledge. And that's why Joyful Belly as a company has been successful also. Sometimes people say, well, no one in my small town knows about Ayurveda, and so how do I teach them what Ayurveda is? And I'm saying this because I know there are people on the call tonight that have these kinds of questions. And I'll say this, that in the small towns, there's much less competition typically for health and wellness services. And I've seen practitioners in some small towns do better than practitioners in the city. And I'll just say one more thing about building your career, is that your clients will respect the knowledge of that you have of their disorder. So we love Ayurveda. That's why we're here tonight. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. And we believe in Ayurveda. You don't need to convince your client that Ayurveda is the best thing ever. Your client is coming to you to fix their Parkinson's disease, or their diabetes, or their skin issues. All you need to convince them is that you know about the skin, or about diabetes, or about Parkinson's. And so what I always tell practitioners is pick an area that you can, in health, that you can get very passionate about, and then build your practice from there, and you will always be successful. The people who love Ayurveda will come to you, and the people who have that problem will come to you, and you'll get both. And so I think that is a real solid way to build a great practice. All right. So all right, I've gone over this a little bit. What is unique about our certification courses, and I would say that that what's unique about our courses is that our teachers are hired for their great communication skills and command of the material. So what you get in a lot of Ayurveda schools is are people who may be very knowledgeable about Ayurveda, but they're not a teacher. A teacher is a calling. It's my whole adult life, I have been a passionate teacher. Before I studied Ayurveda, after I studied Ayurveda. I was one of the only undergraduate students in the computer science department who was hired to be a teaching fellow in my junior year and senior year, teaching the students of my own classmates. And after I graduated, I taught in the Harvard Extension School. And ever since then, I have been teaching in one capacity or another. And I love teaching. It's a calling, and I hire teachers who also have that calling. It's not enough to know Ayurveda. You have to be a great communicator. What's the main difference between Ayurveda and acupuncture and Western medicine and all? The main difference is that my clients go home and treat themselves. I don't treat them. They treat themselves. They go home and they have to do what I told them. That means they have to understand it. That means I have to be a great teacher with each and every client that I meet with. And so much of Ayurveda is a sort of grassroots ability to communicate with the client. And so we're gonna teach you how to be a teacher of health, how to present and teach Ayurveda, so that your spouse won't look at you like, like, what is that you're studying? Or your friends won't say, oh, how do you say that? Or what is, we will show you how to talk about Ayurveda in a way that everybody can understand it, what it is, very easily. So, yes, I said it already, you will be challenged. You'll learn by doing. This is an experiential program. People say, well, how can you have an online program that's experiential? And I would say that when I was an Ayurvedic student in a traditional classroom setting, sitting there listening to a teacher talk is not necessarily more experiential. Just because the teacher is 30 feet away in the same room as you doesn't mean that you're getting the information close up. But in our presentations, we can give you a zoomed in photo of the tongue. We can give you a zoomed in picture of the client's skin, of the eye. Actually, we can bring the client closer to you online than my teacher could bring in a traditional classroom setting. And even in some cases, then I can see on my own when I'm with a client. For example, when I meet with a client and I analyze their tongue, I take a picture of their tongue and then I blow it up on the computer screen, and the client and I review the tongue photo together. Well, that's what we're going to do online. So it's an experiential program. You'll be doing food and body awareness experiments every single week of the program so that you internalize Ayurveda. Our goal is to be rigorous. I already said it before. I did my undergraduate studies in computer science and mathematics at Harvard. That was not easy. That was not an easy program there. So you can imagine that I'm going to be pushing every student in the program to be awesome, to be their best, to be a great student. And that doesn't mean it's going to be hard intellectually, but what we're looking for is excellence from every single student. And so, we're definitely going to be driving you to that, and you're going to feel really proud of what you accomplish by the end of this program. All right. A few more things I want to mention about clients. Yes, you can begin seeing clients after either of the courses without any additional certifications or memberships or passing any additional exams or board exams or anything like that at all. Ayurveda is an unlicensed profession in the United States of America, and that means it's legal to practice Ayurveda. We will certify you and give you your diploma to practice Ayurveda and start seeing clients when you're done. So you get everything you need in this program. All right, great. I mentioned this already here. Good. Okay, what else do I want to say here? That a lot of students ask, well, which course should I take first? Should I take the digestion course first, or should I take the fundamentals course first? And I'll say we'll leave it up to you. You can start with either course. The digestion course, we typically only accept people who have some prior background in the health and wellness industry. So there's a caveat there. If you have never studied anything related to health and wellness before, then you would want to start with the fundamentals course. But if you're a massage therapist, or a yoga teacher, or a nurse practitioner, or a psychologist, then you could then you have clinical experience or health and wellness experience, and this is not your just first foray into this industry, then you're welcome to start with either course. Some students like to go deep in an area first and build a pillar of expertise and then broaden. And some people like to look at Ayurveda broadly and then go deep. Our students do it in both directions. And some take, and many take both. Great. Course format, which I've gone over briefly already, and we'll just go into a little more details here. The fundamentals course has 180 pre-recorded presentations. Now, if you did the math on that, that's 40 or 50 hours, you would see about how many hours went into developing the course. Some weeks, some lectures, 25 hours, some up to 40 or 50 hours. And that was pretty much the range. But we're looking at here of something like 10 to 28,000 hours of time to put those presentations together. So each weekly module has 3 presentations, 3 live reviews and Q&A, a weekly quiz for each presentation, which doesn't take a lot of time. It just keeps you focused and on task, and then experiments to master the concepts personally. In stage 2, you get it's 95 client encounters. 50 is a kind of minimal standard in the industry. We do about 95 in our program. We'll give you forms and legal parameters for starting your clinical practice, and also special topics like pregnancy and postpartum, etc. In the Mastering Digestion and Nutrition program, you get 60 pre-recorded presentations and 3 live classes per week also. We've extended it beyond 30 weeks now. It's I think it's about 34 weeks now. So that brings it to 102 live reviews. You get each week you get a pre-recorded main lecture on a digestive tract pathology, and then you get a pre-recorded optional supplemental presentation as well. And you get a quiz and a food or body awareness experiment, an herb experiment, and a case study each week. And you'll also, as part of the Mastering Digestion and Nutrition program, you'll also develop a therapeutic protocol to share with other students. And that always scares people, that they're going to have to develop a 15-page protocol for a particular disease. But that kind of project is the very kind of project that makes you a great practitioner. And so we want to make sure that you do that as a part of this program. If you miss a live coaching call, you can listen to the recording. And if you have a vacation, no one needs to cancel their family vacation because of the course. You can write to us in advance and ask for an extension, and then you can attend those classes by recording. You want to, of course, try to attend some of the presentations live so that you can interact with the teacher, but we offer a lot of flexibility in this program for people who might be juggling a family and a job. And there are many who are in that situation in our course. In fact, most of the students in our program have kids and a job, and they're juggling them. And the course, because of the flexibility, is very accommodating to those individuals. The time commitment for the Fundamentals 2 years program is 12 to 13 hours a week. For the digestion program, about 8 to 12 hours a week. Assignments and tests are graded pass, fail for a non-competitive and supportive environment. But I will also say that we're always looking for our top students to hire them into internships and to get a closer opportunity to work together with our top students. And so I hope that will be you. Class calls are generally attended by 20 to 40 students, the online calls. You can, study the program from your beach house in Baja, or your family could take a trip to Paris, and you could still, use the internet to attend your lecture. There's lots of breaks in the program. It's a challenging program, like I said, but there's lots of breaks in the program where you can, no one's going to feel in this program that they've been taken away from their family. Our students don't ever tell us, like, I haven't seen my family in months or anything like that. Because we have frequent breaks, a 3-week break around the Christmas, New Year's holiday, Thanksgiving, there's a week break. We have winter break, a spring break, a long summer break, and other break periods in between. So that, we're going to be doing great work together, and then we're going to have great rest opportunity as well. All right, great. So the last question here is how to register for the program. And I'm just going to show you my screen so you can see it. Here, you go to, let me just get this window out of my way here. This is the Joyful Belly website. If you're at the home page right here, you can click on Wellness Courses. And then if you're going into the Master Ayurveda Digestion Nutrition program, click here. Or the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine 2-year program, you click there. And when you're ready to register, you just click this orange button right here. And you'll see that we have a monthly payment plan of $250 a month. And you can also pay with a $600 deposit. You don't need to do both. A $600 deposit, and then you send the rest of your first-year tuition before the first day of class. You save $125 off tuition by doing that. Or if you do the monthly payment plan, it's $250 a month until the course is paid off. So some people, every year we get people saying, well, do I have to pay the $600 deposit fee and the $250 a month? No, you don't. Just one or the other. And then the same thing for the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition course that you can register. This one's $282 a month. Actually, it should be higher because we started in June. Because this program, you have to make sure that it's paid off before you graduate. So I haven't yet calculated the monthly rate for people who start in June. So if you register before midnight tonight, you can still get that $282 a month rate. And otherwise it'll be recalculated tomorrow morning. Again, because I haven't done the June one yet. So great. So that's how you register. You click there. I want to mention that your registration is non-refundable. Just make sure you want to do the program. And we want committed students. We hire our teachers on the basis of enrollment, and so that's why we don't give a refund on registration. So I just want to make sure that's clear to everybody so that you're making a clear decision. And I also want to let you know that I am I am always available to talk with you about any questions that you have about the program and even about having an Ayurveda career. So I do this for prospective students all the time, is help them envision their future Ayurveda career. But I've seen other people graduate and do successful careers. I've talked with other students who have concerns in the past. The biggest concerns that students always have when registering for the course is, do I have the time to study this? Do I have the money? Do I have support from my community? And can I make a career out of this? And I've talked to thousands of students about that issue, and I'm happy to talk with you. I'm happy to help you develop your sense of mission in the Ayurvedic field and where you can apply that. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel or make the same mistakes that I made when I was a new practitioner. I'm here to help you. And even after you graduate, I'm available to students. If you develop a new website after you graduate and you want someone to take a look at it, or some new marketing materials or a new business card, send it to me and I will help you. So at every stage in the program, from pre-registration to admissions, and then also postgraduate, we're here to support your success and your excellence in Ayurveda, because that's what makes the world a healthier place. And your success is how we show the world that we are a great place to study Ayurveda. So with that, I want to open the floor to questions. So I may not be able to unmute the line. We'll see if there's any background noise here, but I will unmute it. Before you go, I want to thank you, first and foremost, for your interest in your body and healing your body, and you're really interested in your whole personhood. Your interest in your communities and the generosity that you express by wanting to learn Ayurveda and offer it to your communities. And also, I also want to thank you for your interest in Joyful Belly. So let me unmute the lines and see if I can hear everybody. For some reason, I can't seem to find the unmute everyone button. Let me just check here for a second. You should be able to unmute yourself. If I can't unmute you. Yeah, I can't see, for some reason my Zoom is not showing the typical unmute thing. So yeah, unmute your phone if you have a question. And I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. And you can also post a question in the chat box. So, yeah, interesting that that the option to unmute has disappeared for me. Okay, so I do see some questions that people are asking. Does your school belong to some organization such as AADP, the American Association of Drugless Practitioners? Fabian, yes, we do belong to the AADP, and you can get your health coach certification from them after you pass their board exam, if that's what you'd like. But I just want to emphasize that Ayurveda is not a licensed profession, and it's not required to do that. But some people like to do that. We're also a member of APNA, the Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America, which is the largest association of Ayurveda schools and practitioners And so we are also a member there. We're licensed by the state of North Carolina. And like I said, we're also a member of the National Association of Ayurvedic Schools and Colleges, and I'm the current president of that organization as well. Jennifer asks about if she's going to be able to, if there's going to be another meeting because she got the time zone wrong. Jennifer, I'm going to send the recording to you. So don't worry about it. If you email me, I'll send you the link. My email is john@joyfulbelly.com. That's JOHN @joyfulbelly.com. You can also text me, anyone, if you want to have a conversation at 828-785-8213. That's 828-785-8213. I'm with the U.S. country code if you're calling internationally. And also, I'm on WhatsApp so that you can contact me for free too. We can use voice over IP. So, Amandeep, you're coming in from New Zealand. I don't know the local laws in New Zealand, so you just have to check in your local laws of New Zealand. When I say clinic, I mean you creating an office or an office in your home, and there's a number of different ways to do this, which I'm going to explain in the course, where you start seeing clients. So you create a clinic. And Fabienne is asking about practicing Ayurveda in different countries. In some countries, there are restrictions on practicing Ayurveda. So you have to, and like, for example, in India, so you have to really know which country you are practicing in. So let's see, what other questions? Oh, someone's telling me to stop doing my screen sharing and see if the unmute shows up. Yeah, no, I am, for some reason, yeah, it won't let me unmute everyone's line. This is very unusual. I uploaded that new version of Zoom, and for some reason it's not letting me unmute everyone. All right, let's see. Are there any scholarships available? Michelle asks. Michelle, our program is pretty competitive. I would say that it's half the price of other comparable schools, and that's because we're online. And it's also, frankly, Michelle, because I have a background in technology that I was just able to build these platforms and doing it. Yeah, I was able to build these platforms at a much lower cost, and so it is already. I can't make it any lower. I wish that we could, and I appreciate your question too, because I know that finances are a struggle for people, especially in the current situation with coronavirus. I know it's hard for folks, but I also know that our program is really competitively priced. And it would just be hard to go less than that. But Michelle, you're always, if finances are the issue, let's talk. I gave out my number already, and I'll even write it down here so that everyone has it in the chat box, which is 828-785-8213. So, and Eve, I tried that running the mouse across the screen to make I have all the options. I can actually see my participants window, and it says mute all on the window, but it doesn't say unmute all. So I'm just trying to figure that out here. Do you know any information as far as practicing in Florida after the 2-year completion? In Florida, as well as every U.S. state, Ayurveda is unregulated. It's an unlicensed profession. And mainly that's because it's not dangerous. There was a push to license Ayurveda in Colorado last year. It was turned down because Ayurveda is too safe. It wasn't dangerous enough to make it a licensable practice. However, in Florida, you have to be a little careful around how you talk about herbs and diet recommendations because of some recent health laws that were passed there. And that's really just a protocol issue and how you explain and talk to your clients. I always view in my practice that I'm an educator. I don't, to me, it's almost, a lack of humility to say to somebody, take this pill and call me in the morning, this is going to heal you. I never talk like that to my clients. What I do say to my clients is that I've seen many other people or many other clients with conditions similar to these. They responded well to that particular herb. And your body may be different. You should research the herb and check it out. And this is, this is what I gave them, or this is what they took and helped them. Now I'm being humble, and I think that humility is a great thing for all doctors, not just unlicensed Ayurvedic practitioners. So hopefully that answers your question, Oksana, and we can talk more about that again privately. Mani asked about our biggest competitor in this space and what differentiates your program from theirs. I'll say this, that what differentiates our program from every other program out there is that we place such an emphasis on communication and great academics. I know there's schools out there that really focus on academics as well, but I would say we do that as well as a really strong focus in the area on communication, and I also think that we just have a lot of online resources that make Ayurveda accessible in ways that other schools they just don't have that technological experience in house, and so we can I think those are areas that we're very strong in. And I see someone whose username is iPhone says that they're signing up for the Mastering Digestion course as we speak. How long does it typically take to find out acceptance? Well, welcome to the program, iPhone. And how long does it take to typically find out acceptance? I'm going to contact you this week, and we'll schedule a phone call where we can do a meet and greet, where I can learn about you and your goals, so that when I'm teaching the program, I can speak to what your needs are throughout the program, and then at that time I'll also ask you a few questions, and we will know, and then you'll know within 24 hours of that conversation. So we should be able to find out pretty soon. Any other questions from anyone? Do you recommend a book to go over the philosophy of Ayurveda? I'm into integration. And does Ayurveda only use Indian or South Asian spices? Okay, so Fabienne, I would say that there is one really great textbook for Ayurveda philosophy called by Ninivagi. And I think this is how you spell the name, Ninivagi. That's pretty good. I also think that there's some real groundbreaking, I think there's a lot more work that can be done to present the philosophy of Ayurveda in a little bit clearer terms. Because typically, Ayurveda is presented as as coming out of the Sankhya tradition in ancient India, but I also think that, I don't think that's the full story. There was a lot of integration between and communication through trade routes and even through conquest between the Greeks and the Vedic peoples, and there was a kind of cross-cultural exchange at that time, which has some really interesting implications for Greek philosophy and Indian philosophy, which it would be great to talk about. I'm really into that stuff, Fabienne, and we can talk about that sometime. Great. So, oh, we just found out that iPhone's name is Sky. Hi, Sky, and glad to know you. Sarah asks if this course is accredited in Australia, and one there are two courses there. There's the Ayurveda health course, and there's also the Mastering Digestion course. The Mastering Digestion course is definitely, neither of the courses are accredited in Australia. Whether the Australia licensing board will accept you as a member you have to look at, there could be changing standards there. I know you have to get 300 hours minimum of live teacher-student interaction. So I'd have to show you how to get that in the context of the course, Sarah, if you plan on getting accredited in Australia for Ayurveda. In order to obtain public liability insurance to practice on your own. Okay, yeah. So Sarah, again, I'm not an expert in Australian law, so you might want to make a phone call or two there, just to research that. I just want to make sure that you can get what you need out of the program. Does anybody else have any questions for me? Do I help with job search after the completion of the course? So typically, most practitioners go into private practice, or they go work in an integrative clinic. Those would be the two main options that people explore. Some people create courses. Like, for example, you could create a 2-month course for people who have multiple sclerosis and healing multiple sclerosis with Ayurveda. You could create a small course for that. So Ayurveda people are educators. They run private clinical practices. They may start a product line for a particular part of the body, and they may work in integrative clinics. And so it's not typically the case that you're going to like apply for a job at a hospital or something like that. So Oksana, I can help you. I can definitely help you with a strategy for that, and talking with you about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You also asked when the next course starts. If we miss this one, we run the course once a year. So the next one will run in August of 2021. Any other questions? Well, it would have been great to hear all your voices on the call and this new update from Zoom. I'm going to see what I can do to fix that for the next call. But I'm still here if anyone has any other questions. And yes, someone asked if John@JoyfulBelly is my email, and yes, it is. Does Ayurveda only use India or South Asian spices? Absolutely not. Ayurveda is a tool that you can use for evaluating the effect of anything on your body. Wearing a woolly sweater, or going for a walk next to the river, or a walk in the desert, or what time to get up in the morning. So yeah, it's definitely, it's not about a specific substance or a style of cooking or anything like that. It's a tool and a technique to help you analyze anything new and its effect on your body. So yeah, we're gonna blow the doors open, and that's it. It's another part of Joyful Belly that's really unique, is that we teach Ayurveda in a very familiar way, not as something exotic or mystical. We're not trying to hide behind anything mesmerizing or magical or anything like that. What we're going to give you is our really great system of medicine, and it's just plain and simple. That's what you're going to get, and it's not going to be mysterious in any way. Great, everyone. I'll let you get on with your evening. The sun has not set yet here in Western North Carolina, but it's about to. And so if you're in my time zone, you just might catch the sunset. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And I'm here to answer any additional questions that you have, or to help you solve time, finances, community support issues, how to talk to your spouse or employer or others about Ayurveda, and others that may be involved in your decision-making process. I'm here to help you with your mission in Ayurveda, even, just out of the box, thinking about what it is that you can do and what direction you want to go in. So please feel free to give me a call. My number is 828-785-8213. Or email me, john@joyfulbelly.com. That's John, and then joyful only has one L, joyfulbelly.com. Belly has two L's. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We will talk again soon. Sarah, I'm happy to send you the course outline. Just send me an email so I know where to email it to you. Okay? It's actually online. I think you can even probably Google the term, but I will try to get that to you if you email me. All right, you guys are great. Lots of great questions. I'm glad for the opportunity to answer your questions, and have a great night. Take care.